By Captain who?
George McLean.
George
He was
McLean.
an administrator inside this castle.
Inside this castle, okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome. Please, any other question?
What is this?
It is not. So I mentioned earlier that slaves kept inside the dungeons were in chains and in shackles. So it is not an original chain, but it is an example of the chains used on the slaves once they were brought down here. All right. You have a question?
From the first dungeon.
First chamber.
Yeah, the first chamber. I saw some inscriptions on the wall, like Roman numerals.
Most of them are done by our brothers and sisters from the diaspora, those who have successfully traced the ancestral roots of the slaves. Sometimes when they come, they even light candles to pray for the souls of their ancestors and then to connect with them. Yeah. Welcome. Please, any other question? If no question, please let's proceed this way. So we are going out this way. You can on your torches.
And you have something you can do and then put it there for the ancestors. We'll be happy.
So as they were moving into the church to worship, they could hear the screams and cries of the slaves, everything going on down here as they worshiped the Lord.
My wife, go ahead.
Thank you. So the church.
Okay. All right. So over here we have the graveyard for the Europeans. So whilst the African men and women, the slaves, were just put into sacks and thrown into the sea, their people were given befitting burial. Most of them were buried over here. Just that after this place was excavated in the year 1976, only 4 graves had their names or initials on them. That's one plus the 3 graves we see here. But then most of them were buried over here. Interestingly, just one African man was buried amongst them. This is his grave, so why this African man? His original name was Kweku, a Wednesday born from this very land. And Kweku's father was Obrikon, and his father was part of the few African men who were capturing their own people then for the British. So his father was a middleman to them. So due to his father's activities with them, his son Kweku gained a scholarship to study theology in the Oxford University. And after his studies, he was ordained priest, making him the first black man to be ordained as an Anglican priest. And after he was ordained, they baptized him and gave him a Christian name Philip, then mispronounced the local name Kweku to Kwaku, making it Philip Kwaku. So after Philip was ordained, he came back into this castle and he led the church built on top of the dungeon. However, after some time here inside this castle, treatment became bad for Philip. Therefore, Philip had to move outside of the castle to work to fend for himself. And as he was doing that, he introduced some of the natives or Africans around him then how to read and write, Western form of education. Therefore, over here in Ghana, we actually use Western form of education to Philip Kwaku. So the very first school built over here in Cape Coast was named after him, Philip Kwaku Boys School. And Philip died at age 75 in the year 1816. Now the 3 graves we see there are all British. The first one was a soldier, and his name was C.B. Whitehead. He died at age 38. Some believe malaria killed him. Others believe he was shot in one of their fights with the Dutch, and then he died in the year 1812. The middle part belongs to Letitia Elizabeth London. Letitia was the wife of Captain George McLean. So she came into this castle to visit her husband. But then just after 2 months, she was found dead inside the husband's home. And we have 3 schools of thought concerning her death. The first believed malaria killed her. The second believed when she came, she got to know that her husband McLean was having an extramarital affair, an African mistress. Therefore, out of jealousy, she poisoned herself. And the third believes that the African mistress rather came into this castle, disguised herself as a maid and poisoned Letitia so she could have George McLean to herself. And she died at age 36 in the year 1838. And the last one belongs to Captain George McLean, the husband. George McLean was an administrator inside the castle, and he was the man responsible for blocking both entrance and exit points of that underground tunnel that connected the fifth chamber of the male slave Dundee straight to the door of no return. And he also introduced the first Western port we have over here in Ghana. And he died at age 46 in the year 1847. And it is believed that malaria killed him. Let's come to all right. So over here we have a well or a water reservoir, and when the trade was ongoing, they harvested rainwater and stored it in here for domestic purposes. Everybody inside the castle then used water from this well, but there was a difference. Water from the well was used in its raw state, once collected, used for the slaves. But for the slave masters, I mean the governor, the soldiers, the captains, the officials, and the rest, the water had to be purified by boiling. Now it is still a well, but we no longer harvest rainwater. As you can see, it is piped now. Serves the same purpose, domestic purposes. So we use water from this well now to run the activities of the castle, like the washrooms and stuff. And this well is 18 feet deep.
18 feet deep?
Yes, please. Oh, please let me go. We are going this way. All right. Over here we have a cell, and the name of this cell is the condemned cell. Condemned because it was a cell designed to kill, not to punish.